Hi, everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am excited to bring to you today this Transformers Robots in Disguise or Adventure, depending on how you look at it, review from the Takara line, which is Transformers Adventure. We are looking at Bumblebee Supreme mode now, or if depending on the translation of the pre-order, Bumblebee Sublime mode. Basically, what we have here is Takara's take on Bumblebee as he appeared in the final couple of episodes of season one of what we know as Robots in Disguise. You know, he was helping Optimus Prime take on Megatronus, yada yada. Um, in the United States, Hasbro has seen fit to just take Bumblebee, Sideswipe, and Strong Arm, repaint them, and repackage them as Toys R Us exclusives under the Clash of the Transformers banner. So, of course, you can now find Bumblebee with teal and pink and what have you, sitting alongside the original version of that figure, as well as the just released stealth mode repaint. Yeah. But with Takara, they went ahead and remolded the arms, chest, the head, parts for the legs in a clear blue plastic, which basically resulted in a warrior class Bumblebee with some now clear plastic parts. I'll be honest with you, since I reviewed the original Bumblebee figure, this is actually the longest time I spent with the mold. That review was basically review the toy, got to put it away, decorating for the holidays, what have you. But it's all right. Like I said, now we're starting off in vehicle mode. There's not a lot new here. You'll be seeing obviously there's more paint, but that's really if you had the original Takara Transformers Adventure Bumblebee, you'd have this basically the same paint. Although I think the blue here on the headlights is a bit different. What is noticeably different is I think these little slots here on each side are new, and that's for the weapon storage of one of the new weapons that Bumblebee comes with. This is basically the fully extended Decepticon Hunter in a staff mode. We saw him, the character, use several times during the run of the series. You can say it's a specialized weapon. It is cool that it's here, especially considering that the original figure came with the quote-unquote Star Saber, and we really never saw it use it once. But I mean, it's nice. It's clear blue. It's molded very nicely. It's stiff plastic. No worries there. So we'll just put that off to the side, and then as I mentioned, the Star Saber is still included. It can still store underneath the car and vehicle mode. As I mentioned before, this is something that the Hasbro instructions don't mention, but since Takara isn't worried about hyping and overhyping the simplified transformations, they can actually do printed instructions that detailed steps, weapon storage, tell you how to transform the thing the right way. But this is basically it's the same shade of blue. I see no differences between this and the regular retail release of the Hasbro Star Saber. But looking here at Bumblebee, the car can roll, which is very nice, and it is the same warrior class transformer. So let's get into the transformation. Um, with Bumblebee being around so long, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to transform him. This is the easiest way that I found to go from vehicle mode to robot mode. First, what you want to do is go ahead and unpeg the doors on both sides. Just basically, you can get in there and press them down, and then you just want to swing them down and away on that hinge. Don't worry about folding it up now. You really don't have the clearance yet until you do the arms. Next, what I recommend is Now this is, I think, a little bit backwards from the Takara instructions, but go ahead, bring forward the panel section here that forms the front and rear and side windshield. Basically, what you want to do is you're going to bring it forward. There is a soft detent. It did click a little that you just want to. That's your limit to pushing it forward, and then you just want to bring the panels here up flush against the front of the car, which will be the back of the legs. Like I'm sure a lot of people have said, I would have liked to seen this maybe pagan flush, but that would have been additional holes, which may have ruined the aesthetic of the vehicle mode, and more parts count, whatever. So the next step is what you want to do: come in, pull out the arms, bring them up. They're on like a double ball joint hinge system. Just go ahead, do that. Next, go ahead, come in, rotate the legs around, just like so. I'm going to adjust the camera ever so slightly so we get more of the figure in. Go ahead and actually what I would do first is separate the leg and then go and flip the foot down all the way so it comes into place just like so. You can stand Bumblebee up, come around behind the figure, go ahead. There's some tabs here that the tabs you use to store the Star Saber, you're actually going to flick those in. You want to keep the door wings straight back like so. Go ahead, bring that back panel over, and there's some slots here that those will rest in. Lay that flat against the back there. Straighten out the door wings and what have you. And here we have um, Transformers Adventure Supreme Mode Bumblebee. As I mentioned, there's been not new parts but retooled parts. Um, the head is redone. Basically everything new. The head, chest, arms, the panels here. It's actually clear plastic that's been painted over, except for here on the legs. I actually think there's like the original leg part, like a design, and then they put the clear plastic, that not clear plastic, that blue plastic right over it. But definitely the arms and the head were molded in that blue plastic. That and then painted over. So for those of you who might be a little iffy about how um, the durability of the clear plastic, just be aware that means the hands are plastic. The figure is surprisingly very translucent. I usually, don't show this off, but I think it's actually kind of cool. So let me get Mr. Flashlight here. That's what I'm doing. And you just heard that go on. But as you can see, depending on how you get it, it does shine through. It's all that light piping there in the face, the chest. It's actually good if you have like a steady light right behind him. There you go. I think that works a little bit better. But definitely a really cool look to the figure. But it is still Warrior Class Bumblebee, which means any issues you had with the figure before are still here. One thing I am disappointed about, they did not add in a wrist articulation or anything. So in terms of holding his sword, you have to rely on that bicep swivel. It can hold the staff. There's only one contact point, which is right around where my thumb and finger are. I actually prefer to have him hold it up like this, since this is, I feel, is the attacking position. But I mean, he holds the weapons well. But like I said, you got elbow bends and bicep swivel, which is great, but no wrist. So in terms of holding the sword, it's a little iffy. Depending on how you have those wings set, they can hit The arm top of the arms can't hit those wings. I mean, the knees and legs are the same. I know some people have complained that there's really no heels or not enough of a heel for the figure, but I've never had a problem posing it in that regard. Um, but yeah, so this is basically your Supreme Mode Bumblebee. I think it's a great update, and I'll give you my final thoughts. It's kind of tough for me to if I can recommend Supreme Mode Bumblebee or not. If you have every other version of the Warrior class Bumblebee, first of all, God love you. Um, but I think you've had your fill of this mold. The new parts don't alter the transformation, and while they make the figure look cool, they don't offer anything new and exciting. Um, if you're like me, you only have that for Wave One Bumblebee that was from almost last December when Amazon started getting them in. Uh, then maybe you pick this one up. I mean, obviously, if you're looking for a figure that represents the last couple episodes of Robots in Disguise, definitely pick this up, and it will go great with that retooled, a Supreme Optimus Prime. That's like their version of our Mega Optimus Prime and all that stuff. But um, I mean, I dig it. The transformation is kind of okay. I should mention, going to vehicle mode. There are, you got to fiddle with it a little. That's why I started with car mode, to get things lined up and punched in. And I noticed that this tends to be a little more gappy than the original Warrior version, or I'm not remembering right. It might have to do with the fact that because the forearms and legs are a little bit thicker, things don't come together as well. But it's symmetrical, so I don't mind it that much. I got this figure from Robot Kingdom. You can get it from Big Bad Toy Store, TF Source. Um, it's a little over $20. That's not including shipping. Shipping, of course, is going to make it a lot more, especially if you go from an overseas dealer. But seeing as how the Hasbro releases are pretty much roughly that amount with tax, and you're not getting retooled parts or an additional weapon, I kind of think this might be the better value. It's your old pal Chuck for Bumblebee Supreme Mode. We will see you next time.